Oh, it's been a while since I made a Monarch guide or anything related to leadership or Monarch or anything in Empire Clash. And I've seen a lot of people just absolutely fumble as Monarch, to be honest. So I basically just wish to share what I have learned during my 4 years of playing Empire Clash Monarch, and I've accumulated, what is it, like 400 wins or something? Let me check my stats real quick. Yeah, 424 20 wins. Very nice. Um, so I will just basically be sharing practically everything I know about being monarch, the main things you gotta look out for. Um, when it comes to crown authority, making sure your countries actually function properly, and also managing diplomacy, edicts, basically everything. The main stuff that monarchs need to take care of. Okay, also, I am doing this in a server that is literally full of what is practically just bots. Um, as you can see, there's like 20,000 tutorial peasants. I believe this is because of it being on today's picks, but yeah, the whole team's tutorial hasn't, so we'll see if we get anywhere with this. But to begin with, let's open the Crown Authority tab. To open a Crown Authority tab, you can go over to Politics right here, and at the bottom right, you can see your Crown Authority, how many points you have, how many you're gaining a minute, and Edicts. Yeah, okay. So, really quick, if you don't know how Crown Authority works, it's pretty simple. Every core territory you own, you gain one Crown Authority a minute, yeah. So, right now we own 3 core territories. We own Monastery, Logging Camp, Mountain Estate. Those are core blocks cores. Another core blocks core would be Watermill. Basically on each map, it's moves around, depending on what team you are, what the map is, and stuff. Like, for example, on Runespire, the center territory for Auto Water, that is a shared core that everyone shares, the center auto water. But anyways, we go back to the Crown Authority tab. So Crown Authority is actually very important. Most people underplay it. The importance is that you can basically spawn in infinite muskets and infinite slots with this. Like it's very good. So we'll be going over each edict, what it does, whether it's worth it, and generally what I generally tend to do. So let's just quickly start with the stuff you should always have on. What I always have on to max out my crown authority is guaranteed liberties. All guaranteed liberties does is makes it so it's easier to revolt against you, and also makes it so you can't jack up the taxes to an extreme rate. Either way, you wouldn't really want to touch these because you'll get revolted. So I mean, you don't really lose anything from it. So yeah, you have guaranteed liberties. That's already an extra CA. It's pretty good. Makes it, again, they can revolt easier, but it's not that important as long as you're doing fine as Monarch. They usually won't revolt, hopefully, unless you're stuck with a team of brain dead people, but then I just suggest that you server hop. The next one I suggest is Democracy. Democracy essentially makes it so elections are free. Now, this should be used, usually, it should be fine for you to use. As you can see here, if I was to start an election for literally whoever, it would be free instead of costing 2,000 coins like it usually does. The only problem is if you have a contender that has more wins than you, the random droids will always pick the guy with the most wins. So for me personally, with someone with like 420 wins, this is fine for me. I mean, most people can't really beat me in an election unless there's like a organized group of a sort trying to push a specific candidate. But again, democracy is good. But if you don't have as many monarch wins, maybe you don't wish to lose your position to some crazy guy. Oh my god, 6-7. Some crazy guy like me that has way too many monarch wins and basically no lives to skip. Okay, those are the two universal, just CA giving things I recommend. The next one is very case dependent for CA giving. It's UBI. UBI, most of the time you don't want to enact it. Basically, what it does is it forces all wages to be at maximum, so that is 40, and it you have 10,000 coins in the treasury, so usually you will have to donate to the treasury for that to happen. But or the treasury just fills up through taxation. Um, Universal basic income, I usually don't go for it unless I really need the CA buff. But yeah, no, this is like very specific. It really drains your treasury fast, and you generally have to spend a lot of money to keep it going. So I am, unless you're fighting a very specific draining war, I generally do not recommend utilizing universal basic income. The extra CA gain isn't really worth it. So that would be 6 CA if I had UBI on. I only have 5 right now. And if we add another CA for having watermill, which we don't have, that would be 7 CA again. And if we were to be the smallest team, which I'm actually not sure, are we the smallest team right now? Yeah, it doesn't tell me. You'll tell you at the bottom right of the screen if you're the smallest team, you'll basically gain a bonus to your CA. So you can basically make a bunch of CA. Now we'll actually go over to the edicts that spend CA, and as to why they're important. So to begin with, this is Baker Rifleman. Not worth it. You generally, unless you have some Savos spamming Bakers, because Bakers are also, they're pretty good. I mean, I'm personally not ginormous of a fan of Bakers because they're expensive to make, and I prefer hunting infantry muskets because of the bayonet. But yeah, it also costs 1 C a minute to uphold. This basically just makes it so blacksmiths physically cannot craft Baker rifles. I mean, this is only good in the specific case that someone's deliberately trying to sabotage your economy. If you have mass Baker production, even then it wouldn't really be that much of a problem because Bakers are expensive to make. So like, what? Like, yeah, I don't know. I generally just don't even bother with this. Very specific. Also, something else you can notice, you can always import or get infantry muskets through other methods, so it's not really a problem to have a bunch of Bakers. Anyways, I'm spending too much time talking about Baker rifles. But yes, no, this is generally not worth it. Nice logistics. This one's alright. It basically just reduces fast travel cost by 25%. Sorry, it makes it 25% the usual cost, so it's a 75% decrease. This is sometimes worth it if you have a bunch of people on your team that are basically like broke and refuse to fast travel because of the cost. But again, it costs 1 C to upkeep a minute, and you can just have a regiment leader supply fast roll funds, so it kind of negates the whole purpose of it, in my opinion. If you have a regiment guy to give subsidies, because you can give subsidies for fast roll in the regiment, if you have that up, no real need to use this, because it will just cover it for free. So now that's always CCA. Assembly lines. This is good for economy. Usually, if you have a really bad economy, you want to turn this on for a bit. This basically what it does is it takes 1 CA a minute, but it reduces the cost and crafts of everything. So basically, everything you make in their stores are going to be way more cheap to make, and over time, as you do economy, you'll save resources, and yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good for that. Defensive doctrine, pretty simple. You just basically gates are harder to break. All soldiers get 5 discipline, and you basically just you hold on to your territories much easier, and it's harder for others to hold on to their territory. Oh yeah, right here by the way, if you run out Crown Authority, you basically lose all your edicts, and that's not a good thing to happen. So I suggest you manage your CA. Defensive doctrine is opposite of a defensive doctrine. This basically makes it so you can cap territories faster. It is very expensive to upkeep, though. It is minus 4 CA instead of minus 1 CA. And on top of that, yeah, you generally just don't want to keep this on at all times because you'll basically be draining CA. Like right now, if I was to enact this, my CA would be getting drained. Well, it wouldn't be getting drained. It would stop growing. And no, you want your CA to grow. Next, Crackdown Bureaucracy. There's literally no reason for you to use this. This is just the ambassador petition thing with ambassadors. Ambassadors never really use a petition thing. I mean, most ambassadors just sit around doing who knows what. No, never use this. This is just a complete waste. I don't even know where this is in the game. Ambassador, the whole ambassador rework, trying to make the ambassador somewhat relevant with petitions and stuff. It didn't work out. It's not good. Encourage agriculture. This is good. It makes it plus 50% increase in cutting wood and also hunting. So this is good for like leather and wood gathering. Also good for capstans if you need some rapid wood. I would recommend turning this on if you're trying to get an eco up. Smithy Maintenance, also decent eco edict. Because it just makes it so you can craft stuff faster basically, one less step. That's pretty good. Courage Industry, I generally recommend not using this, and I'll show you why in a second. This basically increases efficiency, and efficiency is good, don't get me wrong about that, but there's something much more efficient than this for boosting efficiency in your shops, so no. Also, this requires blacksmiths constantly crafting stuff to actually like get a use out of it, whereas the other method I'm going to show you in a second is far more efficient for efficiency. Then you have again democracy. We just covered that. Courage mining. Courage mining is is like agriculture, but for resource harvesting. Sorry, ore harvesting. So you get more gold, more iron, more coal, and more stone. And I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, if you have a lack of that, go for it. It's just again the extra one CA upkeep. But if you don't have offensive or defensive on, you should be fine in terms of CA. Martial law, no, don't get this. This is just a Sabo edict. This basically just makes it so people cannot start elections against you. Um, and yeah, it's a significant upkeep of -2 CA. It's just a sabotage edict. I don't even know why this is still in the game. It's Horde. You covered UBR already. This is Crown Expeditionary Force. Basically, you generate slots in the conscription hall. Generate slots in conscription hall based on the amount of territories you don't have. And that, I mean, that can be pretty good. You can create like 20 slots if you don't have any territories, and you can get the rams. Like, see, right now I have no free slots. If I was to do this, you're not going to do this right now. I'm sure what it does. If I was to do Crown Expeditionary Force, 22 military slots got created, right? I go over here. Wow, 4 warden slots, 1 general slot, 6 cavalry. Okay, this is stupid. They should definitely not have cavalry in Stone Tonus. This needs to be patched. Why is it? I didn't even know this happened. That cavalry slots got generated. I mean, this doesn't make sense. You can't even use this. Anyways, they gotta fix their game on the cavalry aspect. This is definitely a problem. But besides that, you have sergeant free slots, engineer free slots, footman free slots. I mean, that's good if you have a bunch of bums who refuse to swap because it's too expensive or something. You can just generate slots for them. Next one is ERA. This one's also a very good one. Similar to Crown Expeditionary Force, the way it works basically is every territory you do not have, it generates a free musket at the quartermaster. So instead of me going over here to the quartermaster, right, and spending 1,000 to they even raised the price. Now it used to be 1,000. That's 1,250. That's quite expensive. Instead of me having to drain my pocket or the treasury, mass importing here, I can do this. Empty Royal Armory. It costs 50 CA, so it's kind of expensive. But again, this is why you stockpile CA. And boom, since we don't have that many territories, we only have 3. There's 14. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 14 total territories. We generate 11 muskets here. So yeah, you have 11 free muskets for basically nothing. This is again why I say Baker Ban isn't really worth it. You can have your blacksmiths producing Baker rifles, and then you can just do this. And yeah, your soldiers will then have free slots from Crown Expeditionary Force. Free bakers, well, not free bakers, but bakers, and then free muskets. So, yeah, it's good. It's a good edict. Then, if you keep going into the other edict side, you have the industrial boom. Yeah, this is the one I much prefer over encourage industry. The reason why, 50% efficiency to all shops immediately, and so it's kind of like empty Royal Armory in the sense that you use up CA immediately. And you just like boom, and you get like a buff immediately. So it's not one of those passive edicts where you just slowly drain your CA. I mean, this is kind of expensive. 30 CA is pretty expensive for 50% efficiency. However, again, efficiency is pretty good. It makes it so you can produce stuff way better in shops. And having this, I mean, if you do this 2 times, all your shops at 100% efficiency. Like, there's no reason not to do this generally. If you want to get your economy up, I'd recommend just setting up CA and just doing that once, maybe twice if really necessary. And then boom, your shops are max efficiency already. You don't even need to bother about encouraging industry. Last stand, this is very specific. You basically replace No Surrender because No Surrender was brokenly overpowered. For 10 minutes, you get extra 10 damage and you get a hunting rifle if you only have 1 territory left. I mean, it's alright, I guess. If you really need everyone to be able to defend themselves and get the extra damage buff, yeah, sure, go for it. But again, this is very case specific. Hopefully you're not down to 1 territory, so it's pretty rare, I hope for your sake, that you'll end up using this. Scholarship programs, it's like Crown Expeditionary Force, but it's just generates blacksmith and doctor slots. I mean, it's okay, I guess, if you really want some guys to conscript to blacksmith for doctor, but those classes are generally pretty cheap either way, so I mean, if your team's really too broke to afford a blacksmith or doctor slot, I mean, you're kind of screwed either way. So I generally don't really do this one. It's kind of a waste of CA. It's cost 30 CA as much. You can get like way better stuff for that. Active Militia. This is actually, it's like the Crown Expeditionary Force. However, the way it works is, you spend 35 CA immediately. Yeah. and then after every one that is a civilian class, which means basically if you're not a soldier, they'll get a pop-up on the bottom right of their screen asking if they wish to swap over to footman, basically, for free, for free. And again, that's decent. If you have a bunch of droids, they'll click the button and swap over. But I'm going to tell you, they're probably not going to be the best fighters if they're just sitting around as civilians and you just see a shiny pop-up to swap classes. But meh. Nice self-righteous. This one, nah. Board. All it does, spawns a statue of you. It's cheap. Waste of CA. But in this case, this team's just branded this whole server. Nothing's going to happen, so it's worth just showing off to you guys. It just spawns on a statue of yourself. Yeah, that's literally it. No other use besides aura flexing. That's it. Then you got the earn the right to work. This one, okay. So for the most part, this one sucks, except in one specific circumstance. So this one basically means that any peasant begging will be able to shoot the warden, because they'll be marked for arrest. So which means they can fight back against the warden. So when you're marked for arrest, you can fight back against the warden. Yeah. I mean, usually pretty bad. You don't want your peasant shooting a warden. However, if your warden's a sabo or is really bad or something, this could be the meta to kill him, because all you have to do is pull out a tin can and start begging, and then you can just shoot him in the head and take the warden slot from him. But the fire warden thing is bugged. You need like, what is it, like 70% approval right now? It's not bugged, but it's stupidly higher the threshold. You need like 70% upvote to be able to actually fire a warden. So nah. This is probably the most effective way to actually rid yourself of a bad warden. Unfortunately, if they directly kill him, you can't just fire him like the fire warden thing says. Finally, last minute defenses. This one, pretty good, but you have to time it properly. Basically, what it does is every single gate you own in your empire will immediately get respawned and brought back to full health. So imagine there's like a Red Cliff Army or whatever color, doesn't matter. Imagine there's an army siege in our gates, right? They're broken through the first gate, and they're broken through the second gate. You put that edict up, they're stuck, and you can just like toss a grenade in there and just like kill them all, just let them all out. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's very case specific. Sometimes I recommend saving up a little CA, so you could try to get that thing, just in case you need it. But again, it's also very specific as a defensive edict. Defensive doctrine will also make it harder to break gates. Alright, so originally I was trying to make a video on basically everything you need to know about Monarch, but I've been recording this for 28 minutes, so I don't know how long this video is going to be. So to keep it not too long, I'll stop it here. This is a detailed edict guide. If you wish for a detailed Monarch guide, just like this video. Also, yeah, make sure to use code Sir Hudson right here. If you go over to codes, you can use code Sir Hudson. It doesn't matter how to capitalize it. Yeah, I can't use it. I use it relatively recently, but that'll basically just give you free coins. So why not? And also supports me. But yes, if you wish, you can join our Discord in the description. You can join our events, play Empire Clash with us, whatever. Yeah, have a good day. Bye.